Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well and fine. This is Munish. I welcome all of you in Crimetak family. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting story. It is political in nature. This was probably the first incident of hijacking in the history of independent India, and those who hijacked the plane, they were rewarded in future. So it's a very masala story, very interesting. I hope all of you will like it. So, just to give a little background, when emergency was imposed in India by Indira Gandhi government, then she was arrested. She was put in Tihar jail, Delhi, and till date, if I'm not wrong, she is the only prime minister of this country who has been arrested by any police. So Indira Gandhi was arrested, and now coming on to the incident. This happened on December 20th, 1978. So, at that point of time, there was a flight from Lucknow to Delhi. At 5:45 p.m. on December 20th, 1978, the flight took off from Lucknow for Delhi. 126 passengers, plus the crew members. Everyone was supposed to land in Delhi, but just 15 minutes before the landing, two people got up from their seat. Bholanath Pandey and Devendranath Pandey. They got up from their seat and they went directly to the cockpit. Now, at that point of time, there was not much of security. Uh, you know, these people were easily able to gain access in the cockpit, and then they had a gun and a grenade. They forced the captain to make an announcement, an emergency announcement, saying that this flight has been hijacked. It was an Indian Airlines flight. Again, remember, December 20th, 1978, flight departed from Lucknow to Delhi at 5:45 p.m. Just 15 minutes before landing in Delhi, there was an hijacking by two persons, Bholanath Pandey and Devendranath Pandey, and an announcement was made by the captain that this flight has been hijacked. This flight is now going to Patna instead of Delhi. But within minutes, there was a second announcement. Again, it was forced by the uh, uh, hijackers, Bholanath Pandey and Devendranath Pandey, and the captain made a second announcement that this flight is now going to Varanasi. There was some fuel issue, and then they decided to land in Varanasi. The plane was hijacked, 126 passengers plus crew members at Varanasi airport. And when the flight landed, then everyone was in panic mode. The law enforcement agencies, country was in emergency. Nothing much could have been done. But again, some negotiations started. So when the passenger manifesto was checked, passenger list was checked, then they got to know about these two persons, Bholanath Pandey and Devendranath Pandey, both, uh, you know, brothers. And the law enforcement agency, the officers decided to call the father of both the brothers. And they thought of negotiating with both the brothers. So, when father was called, he was allowed to enter inside the aeroplane, and then the negotiations started. So it came to the knowledge of law enforcement agencies that this particular Indian Airlines plane with 126 passengers and crew members has been hijacked with a demand that Indira Gandhi should be released immediately from Bihar jail. So this was the demand of hijackers, that Indira Gandhi should be released immediately from Tihar jail. Now the father was able to convince both the Bholanath Pandey and Devendranath Pandey, and after negotiations, they got down from the plane, and the flight was allowed. But for some good amount of time, everyone thought that this is going to be a very serious situation where two person with a gun and grenade, hand grenade, they have hijacked the plane, and the demand was to release Indira Gandhi immediately. Anyway, the flight was then later sent to Delhi. When they were investigated, it was found that Bholanath Pandey was carrying a toy gun. It was not even a real gun. And Devendranath Pandey was claiming that he was having a hand grenade, but it was basically a cricket ball. So, using these things, they tried to hijack what I mean, not tried, they technically hijacked, but nothing serious happened. So this was the hijacking, probably the first hijacking. And the interesting bit is that they were not carrying real weapons. It was fortunate that they were not carrying real weapons at that point of time. But in future, what happened with Devendranath Pandey and Bholanath Pandey? When the word spread in the Congress party, the superiors of Congress party were very happy. Bholanath Pandey and Devendranath Pandey, they were given prime responsibilities in Uttar Pradesh, Congress Uttar Pradesh, and Bholanath Pandey won the MLA elections. Then Devendranath Pandey was also given uh, responsibilities. You know, they became the general secretary of Uttar Pradesh. Until recent, they were playing a very active role in Uttar Pradesh. So this was probably the first, hijacking in the history of independent India. An interesting crime story, but also political in nature. But also remember, they were accused of hijacking the plane, but end of the day, they were rewarded with some prime responsibilities in the Congress party. At that point of time, Congress was the most powerful party, the biggest party in the country. There were no other parties of that level at that point of time. But Congress rewarded them just because they hijacked the plane. It is very controversial in today's time. Many few people know about this incident, but this was the first hijacking, and I brought you this story. I hope you people liked it. If there are any recommendation, if you want me to give details about any story, do let me know in the comment box. Thank you for watching.